Hey gang, Michael Lush. I am the founder of Replace Your Mortgage and the CEO of Replace University. And today I want to talk about Sora. But before I get into Sora, if you could, it really helps the channel grow, is if you could subscribe. I would say north of 50% of the folks that actually watch our channel are not subscribers. So if you could, it's the easiest thing you could do. It's actually free, but it definitely helps us grow and create more content that you like to consume. So please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and so on. I'm going to get into Sora. This month, OpenAI announced that they have discontinued the production of Sora. And it really comes to this triangle. Me and my videographer, Sean Henderson, who's fantastic, by the way. He's obviously very big into this because he's not just in videography, he's into AI and creating simulated videos and all this stuff. So he and I were having a conversation about how you've really got this triangle. And of the triangle points, you've got AI, you've got electric vehicles, and clean energy. And the discussion really evolved around it's almost impossible to have all three, okay? Because right now the US has 54 nuclear power plants across the country, which is technically not even enough. A good example of that is you take LA. LA has consistent power outages because their grid and their infrastructure is extremely outdated. There's other factors that create the power outages, whether it's wildfires and the like. But you've got California, which seems to be the hub of let's do everything clean, let's have electric vehicles, which I would argue that electric vehicles are not clean. I mean, just the production of electricity, the majority of it is coming from coal power plants, right? So is that clean? But nonetheless, you've got really the pinnacle of what is supposed to be clean and efficient is electric vehicles. Obviously you got Silicon Valley, which is where most of the AI and robotics companies reside. But then you've got the lack of nuclear plants. And again, we're already at a deficit when it comes to nuclear power, which I think is one of the bigger weaknesses that we have as a country is our grid being outdated. But not having enough, then wanting to scale AI and electric vehicles. That requires an immense amount of power. So that kind of brings me to the topic of AI and AI scaling. AI is only going to be able to scale as fast as we solve the power resource crisis. So, a lot of people are scared, whether you're white collared or blue collared, when it comes to robotics, I'm worried about this, I'm worried about that. I think there's validity to have worry, but only worry to a certain degree because we are so far behind when it comes to power output that AI cannot scale fast, or it can't scale far enough because it can't outpace what's really driving it, which is power. And when it comes to nuclear power, obviously there's a lot of concerns about nuclear power because you've got Chernobyl, and I forgot the name of what was the one in Japan? Remember that one? Huh? Fukushima. So we've all gotten that in the back of our mind, and we're scared of power or nuclear power because we conflate the two things, nuclear bombs with nuclear power plants. And we think that if a nuclear power plant got struck, then the same thing is going to happen that did in Nagasaki and Hiroshima. And obviously technology has come a long way, but in my opinion, nuclear power is the cleanest resource that we have for power, and potentially even the safest as well. Compare the deaths at nuclear power plants versus coal mines. And I guarantee you, if we research that number, do it while I'm doing this if you could, Sean, the amount of deaths from coal mining to nuclear power plants. But all that to say is you've got this triangle of AI, electric vehicles, and clean energy. You're only going to be able to solve one of those, and you can't solve all three. So scaling is going to be an issue. And when it comes to Sora, being an AI simulated video, it was a lot of nonsense. Let's just talk about the economics of it. OpenAI was pouring $15 million a day into the production of and development of Sora. However, Sora garnered $2.1 million total So imagine that. So they were running at a deficit. A big reason they were kind of banking on this $1 billion investment from Disney that fell through. And so they just looked at it as a business and said, it doesn't make sense to spend $15 million a day when we're essentially getting nothing in return. But you look at the consumer demand for it, it was almost like a video game. And I actually saw some really creative people that I follow on Instagram and Facebook that were using it for business. And I thought, okay, well, this is going to be great. We never got in that bandwagon. And I kind of wish we did, because the ones I was watching was actually really cool and really creative, but they were creating videos around their business model. Like a buddy of mine, Matt, who's into infinite banking concepts, and he runs a company called the Cashflow Architect. And so anyway, shout out to Matt. He was creating some really cool videos with Sora around that topic of infinite banking concepts. But he was the exception. The majority of people were using it like a video game, just for fun, just for entertainment. And there wasn't a whole lot of monetization, obviously, from OpenAI, since they only got 2.1 million in return for spending 15.1 million every single day. So obviously the economics didn't work, but on top of that, I think these AI companies are starting to get realistic of, okay, this is a really cool tool and it can solve a lot of problems, but the biggest problem we have is, where does the compute power come from? And when we talk about clean energy, the other thing about these AI data centers is they require hundreds of thousands of gallons per day. So not only do we have a power resource issue and a crisis, but we could potentially, as AI scales, also have a water crisis. Again, I think one AI data center requires 250,000 gallons of water a day, right? So where is that going to come from? Imagine that being near a major city. Now you're going to have water shortages in this major city just because you want to power or cool down these AI data centers with water. It's just not realistic. So although there's validity to be concerned about where AI is going, I am actually optimistic about it. If you're on the right side of it and leaning into it and utilizing it to make your businesses or your personal life more efficient, that's great. But as far as it scaling to the point where we have 50% unemployment, or some of these AI experts that I've seen on some podcasts talking about getting up to 90% unemployment, I personally don't think that's realistic, because again, AI is only going to be able to scale as much as you're capable of feeding it, whether it's power, water, and the like. So, yeah, I even forgot what the question was. What was the question I asked you? The total deaths of coal mines to nuclear power plants.
Yeah, it looks like I just asked Sora. It estimates from
you
our
asked
world
Sora?
in data. Yeah. Not Sora. Sorry, Claude.
Okay.
Claude is
Yeah.
Sonnet.
Yeah.
But I asked Sonnet how many deaths in the last 75 years, just to keep it a little conservative. Obviously, all-time coal would kill it. In the last 75 years, it estimates there are somewhere around, on the conservative side, 100,000 coal deaths. On if we include some of China's numbers, the real numbers, not the ones that they say they have, it could be closer to 500,000.
Yeah.
As far as nuclear, there are only 50 direct deaths. If you include cancer, it could be close to 5,000 from Chernobyl. But as far as actual direct, I think it's 50 from Chernobyl. It says there could be some more from some other general accidents, just workplace accidents, nothing nuclear related. Fukushima had 0. Oh, sorry, never mind. It says only 1 death has been attributed to the disaster. From radiation, it could be anywhere from 4,000 to 5,000 though.
Wow. Okay, so massive difference. You've got 100,000 from coal mining, and if we totaled that up, would you say 10,000 total from nuclear power plants potentially?
Just 5.
5. Okay, not 5,000 or 5? 5,000. Okay, 5,000. So you've got a 20x difference there between coal power and nuclear power. And here's the other thing about AI too. they have to bring down the economics of it. So, our business, we use AI. Actually, in the last 30 to 45 days, me and the partners all bought Mac Studio 3s. You would think that the Mac 4 would be better. It's actually not. Apple made a mistake when an incidental, I wouldn't say a mistake, accidentally did something good with the Mac Studio 3 versus 4, where 4 is not really as compatible with building AI agents as the Mac Studio 3 is. But back to the economics of that is, not only do we have bought those, if you get a base number of a Mac Studio 3, one is kind of stripped down, you're still looking at about $5,000 for this little box, right? Granted, it is powerful. However, that's not the only expense. You've got open routers and all this other stuff, and Claude. Claude, in my opinion, is way better than ChatGPT. A lot of people, ChatGPT was kind of the first on the scene, but they have been leapfrogged massively by other AI. A good way I would compare that is, imagine you're currently using Yahoo for search, and you didn't know Google existed, right? Now you've got ChatGPT that has somewhat replaced Google. However, people don't realize that Claude is far, far better and more accurate and efficient than ChatGPT is. But back to my original point is the economics of the average person, kind of doing what we're doing collectively with the four of us, building our own AI agents. When you total up all the things that we, as far as hardware and all this other software that we're buying to build our own agents and our own mini organization that is virtual, they're just agents, they're not real people. This is going to come back to haunt me when we get iRobot and they're going to be like, yeah, remember back in 2026 you said we weren't real people? Anyways, we're looking at a total of $15,000. That's not economical for the average person to spend $15,000 per person for their own individual agent, and that agent then can spawn other agents and do a lot of tasks for you, whether it's personal. But anyways, that's just not economical. The average American making $70,000, $80,000 a year is not going to spend $15,000 to build their own agent. So that's going to have to get more cost effective over time. So again, as far as scale to this, it will continue to scale, but it will hit a ceiling because of all these factors and all these demands for clean energy, water consumption, nuclear, electric vehicles, etc. Not to mention the rare earth minerals that is required to build all this. So we have a finite number of that, so it can only scale so far. So again, back to the original point, it's valid to be concerned, but it's not the end of the world. Not everyone is going to be unemployed because of this. Unemployment will go up, it already has, but it's not going to scale as much as these fearmongers on podcasts that are telling you that we're going to get to 50 to 90% unemployment. Gang, thanks for watching. And again, subscribe. It's free to do. Click that little button. A lot of people that watch our channel are actually not subscribers, but they are repeat users, repeat offenders of watching our videos. And it would be nice if you just hit that subscribe button. It helps us grow the channel. It helps us build the platform bigger. So that's supporting us by giving you this free content. And I love these questions. And so if you also have questions, just leave them in the comments below. I do this routinely. So if you've got questions that you've kind of perused all of our videos and you can't find the answer to, put the question below and I'll be glad to answer it for you. Y'all take care. God bless.